Alright, we're back. So, yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's go right back to where we left off last time with, this book. I want to, try to remind myself what we talked about last time, though. So last time we learned that he found like a place called Uqbar or something. It's not really in anywhere except for some specific book. And he randomly talked about this guy called Herbert Ashe, who has a book about this, but then he died. Alright, so let's see. On one of the nights of Islam, called the Nights of Nights, the secret doors of heaven open wide, and the water in the jars become sweeter. If those doors open, I would not feel what I felt that afternoon. Okay. So I guess, he found that book that Ash had, that whatever octave book it was. And now he mentioned this like really cool reference about like some Night of Nights, whatever it is. The book was written in English and contained 1001 pages. On the yellow letter back, I read these curious words which were repeated on the title page. A first encyclopedia of Tlön, volume, I think that's 10. No, 11. Alright. Tlön to Yangar. There was no indication of dates or place. On the first page, and on a leaf of silk paper that covered one of the color plates that was stamped a blue oval. On the first page and on the leaf of silk paper that covered one of the color plates, there was stamped a blue oval with this inscription. Okay, so I'm trying to make this image in my head. It's, on the first page, on a leaf of silk paper, I guess it's like one of those, like the paper you use for baking, essentially, those like semi-transparent ones. And then there's, I guess, there was a color plate that was stamped, that is a blue oval that says Orbis Tertius. Okay. 2 years before I had discovered in a volume of a certain pirated encyclopedia a superficial description of a non-existent country, now chance afforded me something. Wow, it's been 2 years. He's been trying to find this stupid place for 2 years. Jesus Christ. I would have given up. I don't have that sort of tenacity. Now chance afforded me something more precious and arduous. Precious but arduous. So even more difficult. Now I held in my hands a vast methodical fragment of an unknown planet's entire history, with its architecture and its playing cards. Okay. So I read a little bit about like some reviews or whatever of this book before I started reading. So I read somewhere that someone mentioned it's cool how the writer could like start from talking about an encyclopedia to like talking about an entire like planet. I guess this is the planet that they're talking about, Tlön or whatever it is. Yeah. Which I guess it did transition to talking about this planet, but I wouldn't say it's like a smooth transition. If I didn't like read about that review prior to me reading this, I think I would be a little bit confused over here. Like, what are you talking about? What planet? I thought we were talking about a country. Alright, but with its architecture and its playing cards, I guess this is just like an example of like from everything small to big, architectures to what playing cards they play. They play like, I don't know, space poker or whatever. With the dread of its mythologies and the murmur of its language, with its emperors and its seas, with its whatever. Holy crap, there's so much. Metaphysical controversy, huh? And all of it articulated coherent with no visible doctrinal intent or tone of parody. Okay. Doctrinal intent, that's an interesting way to say, without... with no bias of any kind. In the 11th volume, which I have mentioned, there are allusions, which I think it means like basically like it's talking about something that's gonna like happen next or something, to preceding and succeeding volumes. Or maybe I can just search it up. I mean, an expression designed to call something to mind without mentioning it explicitly.
Allusion.
Okay. So like a reference, essentially. There are references to the volumes before and after. So I guess they made the 11th one and then they made the 12th one. And then afterward they keep making the 11th one, but they start talking about the 12th one. In an article in the NRF, which is now classic. What does that mean? Nestor Ibarra has denied the existence of those companion volumes. Who's Nestor? Who's this guy you're talking about? Who's Nestor? And what's the what's this? The NRF? What does this mean? Okay, it doesn't seem to show up anything. I think he made this up. It's not a real thing. But I guess it's a classic. I don't know. Fuck me, I guess. Who's this? Is this another guy that's just made up? Borges Center. I think that's the Borges, the guy who wrote this thing. So, Franco-Argentinian, a French translator of Borges. Okay, so this is a real guy, but like it's like a personal friend of his. Has denied the existence of those companion volumes. Well, wait, hold on. What the fuck? What do you mean? I mean, like, I guess this is like a personal friend of his. Fishburne and Hughes. I don't know who these people are. A friend and follower of Borges in his Ultraist period. Okay, so yeah, this is like a personal friend of his. Well, why the fuck would this personal friend of his like has any authority on like what's real about this book? Deny the existence of these companion volumes. What the fuck does he know about this like weird encyclopedia about Tlön or whatever? Ezequiel Martinez Estrada and Dryu La Rochelle have refuted on that doubt against these people I don't know, perhaps victoriously. The fact is that up to now, the most diligent inquiries have been fruitless. In vain we have appended, what does this mean? Appended. Maybe I turn it into set or turn on its end or upside down.
Appended.
Can I get an image? Vertical, perpendicular. Well, I guess like this is probably the perfect image to like, you know, as an example of what that means. In vain we have appended. Oh, so they flipped the entire library like upside down to like find it. Appended the libraries of the two Americas and of Europe. Alfonso Reyes, tired of these subordinates, sleuthing procedures. Okay, so sleuthing I know, procedures I know. Subordinates, I think I kind of know, but like not exactly. What the fuck does this mean? Lower in rank. Okay, so like not as good finding ways, essentially. This guy, Alfonso, whoever, tired of like finding these books in the end, like not the best way. He wants like an AI, like ChatGPT, to find it for him. Proposes that we should all undertake the task of reconstructing the many and weighty tomes that are lacking. Ex Angulionem. Well, I learned before what tomes means. It just means like part of a book. Well, lacking from where? Lacking in terms of what? Like you already got. I thought you got the the big old 11th volume of the Encyclopedia of Tlön or whatever. So like lacking from what? Is it still not enough? You got an entire encyclopedia already. I can't think of like a more comprehensive whatever. I straight up don't know what this means. Let's search it up. we may judge the lion from its call, from a pot we reckon the whole. So what does that mean? So what does that mean compared to this? Expedi Herculean. Okay, I don't know what it means at all. I'm sorry. He calculates half in earnest and half jokingly that a generation of Telonistas should be sufficient. Sufficient for what? A generation of Telonistas. So I guess like people from Tlön, that planet, should be sufficient in finding the tombs or whatever. Is that what it's saying? This venturesome computation brings us back to the fundamental problem. Who are the inventors of Tlön? The plural is inevitable because the hypothesis of a lone inventor and infinite I'm not even gonna try. What is this? Who is this? Polymath, mathematician, philosopher. Okay, well, what does he have to do with this? Of a lone, an infinite, lesbian laboring away darkly and modestly has been unanimously discounted. Okay, well, why not? I mean, you don't know fucking anything. It could be legit made by this single person. Like, fucking Terry A. Davis wrote the entirety of fucking Temple OS all by himself. Why can't, you know? It's just a book. It's just a book with 1,001 pages. Motherfucker, there have been people who have wrote even longer books all by themselves. There's that like fucking Loud House fan fiction that's like straight up the longest known piece of literature in the history of humanity or whatever, right? So like, I mean, I don't know. I guess quantity is not the same as like quality. Maybe the book is like written really well, so he must need like one or two guys to like, you know, look him over or whatever. It is conjectured that this brave new world is the work of a secret society of astronomers, biologists, a bunch of smart people essentially, directed by an obscure man of genius. Individuals mastering these diverse disciplines are abundant, but not so those capable of inventiveness, and less so those capable of subordinating that inventiveness to a rigorous and systematic plan. Okay. But not so those okay, so that's part I understand, you know. All these smart people, you know, now these smart people, there are a lot of them in this world. It's not like it's not that difficult to find, I don't know, a chemist, I guess. I don't know any personal chemist. I mean like any chemist personally, but sure. Okay, this second part I don't know so much. But not so those capable of inventiveness, and less so less so those capable of subordinating that inventiveness to a rigorous and systemic plan. So if I have to take a guess, so he's talking about, okay, finding these people are easy, but what's hard is that finding these people who are also inventive, right? Because like this fucking book Tlön or whatever, and it's like all stuff that just does not exist in the world. These are straight up fake bullshit, just straight up OC shit that they are making up. But like at the same time, it's like made up pretty well. You do need to be like an engineer, scientist, super teenage mutant ninja turtle, like those type of people, in order to like be able to come up with that shit in the first place. So that's why I guess what it means. because less so those capable of subordinating that inventiveness. We learned this that subordinating means like a rank lower or whatever, right? So subordinating that inventiveness, so like reducing that inventiveness, like suppressing it kind of to a rigorous and systematic plan. So like, because it's not about like the science, well, mostly science is talking about like engineers, metaphysics, whatever the fuck. So like, it's like you're like a super genius, super idol 的笑容, fucking genius guy, Albert Einstein, but you are also very inventive and like creative. Okay, this plan is so vast that each writer's contribution is infinitesimal. At first, it was believed that Tlön was a mere chaos, an irresponsible license of the imagination. That's a kind of fucked up way to call things. Irresponsible license of the imagination. I mean, like imagine you made something and then like people call it that. Now it is known that it is a cosmos and that the intimate laws which govern it have been formulated, at least provisionally, subject to further for the time being. Okay. In a way that is true for the present. Okay. So at least for now. That's why this could be replaced with at least for now. Okay. Let it suffice for me to recall that the apparent contradictions of the 11th volume are the fundamental basis for the proof that the other volumes exist. Let it suffice for me to recall. Or let it suffice for me to recall. So for him to recall would be for him to like say it. Let it suffice, so it means like okay, but let's just skip this part. Maybe we can come back to this part later. That the apparent contradictions of the 11th volumes are the fundamental basis for the proof that the other volumes exist. So, okay, I think I'm kind of confused on the apparent contradictions of the 11th volume. This part I kind of don't really understand, because the book being called the 11th volume kind of already at least it's a clue to like that other volumes do exist, but then he says something about the apparent contradiction. So like what does that mean? Apparent contradictions of what? So lucid and exact is the order observed in it. The popular magazines with pardonable access. Okay, well, let's check out pardonable. What does that mean? Able to be forgiven. Okay. With pardonable access, so like too much. Have spread news of the zoology and topography of Tlön. Where? Since when? The popular magazines with pardonable accesses have spread the news. Okay. So why does this happen? So like he's now saying that like magazines are like printing out stuff about Tlön. Is that what he's saying? Talking about the zoology, so like the animals and like the places of Tlön. Is that what he's talking about? But why? Since when? I thought like this Tlön and like Uqbar and whatever, it is like such an obscure, unknown thing that like fucking you tried so hard to find it, and now popular magazines are like printing about it. What? I think its transparent tigers and towers of blood perhaps do not merit the continued attention of all men. I shall venture to request a few minutes to expound its concepts of the universe. Expound, what does that mean? Present, okay, so just talk about. Okay, well, this part I actually pretty much understand fully. He wants to, like, he doesn't really care about, like, the fucking, whatever seems, the actual cool things about Tlön, essentially. He wants to talk about the concept of its universe. Some, like, metaphysics shit. But I'm still confused about, like, since when did, like, this thing that's, like, supposedly so, like, I already said it already, but, like, what the fuck? I guess we just skipped over it. I guess like he like he got this book from this friend. I guess his dad's friend, Ash, or Asher. I actually forgot his name. But and then like he found this book, and then like maybe he told people about it, and then everyone nowadays everyone's like talking about it. Well, what the fuck is this shit? Hume noted. I guess Hume is like another friend of his. Noted for all time that Berkeley's arguments. Who's Berkeley? Like the music school, Berkeley. Yeah, it's a college, right? It's a university. All right. Berkeley's argument did not admit the slightest refutation, nor did they cause the slightest conviction. Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna sneeze my nose real quick. Okay, we're back. Okay, so Hume noted for all time that Berkeley's arguments did not admit the slightest refutation, nor did they cause the slightest conviction. Okay, well, slightest. So he's saying Berkeley's argument did not admit the, the refusal, or did they cause the slightest conviction? This part I don't really understand. Well, this part though, refutation, refusal. All right. Well, refusal of what? The action of proving a statement. Yeah. Yeah, like, what are they like trying to disprove? What are they saying? This dictum, what is this? A noteworthy statement. Okay. Oops. Okay, sure. This dic is entirely correct in its application to the Earth. What statement? What's the dic? What's the dictum? No dick. I cannot find the dick. You're saying that you're gonna like talk about the concept of its universe, and then now it's like you skipped over it, fucking, and then like skip straight to like people like talking about it and like disproving it and like whatever. Well, what the fuck? I don't even know what you're talking about. This dictum is entirely correct in its application to the Earth, but entirely false in Tlön. The nations of this planet are congenitally idealist. Congenital, I know what it means. It's like you're born with. So these nations are born to be the born idealist, and so idealists guided by ideals. Okay. All right. Well, I get are nations and countries on planet, on our Earth, not kind of congenitally idealist as well? I mean, like, I think most forms of like, nations, countries, like the concept of identifying with with a place, that place has to have some sort of ideal that like, you find to be like admirable or something like that. I don't know. Their language and the derivation, how do you say this word? Fuck it. Derivation. To obtain or develop something from a source. Okay. The derivation of their language, religion. Okay, hold on. Their language and the derivatives of their language, religion, letters, metaphysics, all presupposed idealism. So is it like saying that the language and the derivatives of these things are all presupposed idealism? Well, what does that mean, presuppose, first of all? An action requiring required as a precondition of possibility or coherence. Okay. Let's look at Merriam-Webster. To suppose before. Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you. To require as an whatever fucking ends in logic or fact. Okay. So like something that has to happen first, or something happen first. Idealism. Another word, prerequisites. I guess maybe that would be a good synonym. I guess not. Okay. The world for them is not a concourse of objects in space. What does concourse mean? Is that game on the PlayStation that like died in 2 weeks? Meaning a large open area. Okay, sure. I guess that's close enough. The world for them is not just a sandbox in space. It is a heterogeneous. That is a was it DNA word? What the fuck? Heterogeneous. That means like it came from 2 different like parent genes. What the fuck does this mean in this case? Consisting of dissimilar or diverse ingredients, mixed. Okay, that's what that means. I mean, yeah, it means, let's see, homogeneous, heterogeneous. Okay, but it means like, again, also whatever. All right. It's mixed series of it is a mixed series of independent acts. It is successive and temporal, not spatial. Okay, so what does this mean? So like the world of Tlön, it's a very interesting world, I guess. In this world, it's not like, in our world where there are objects in, our world, and then like things happen. Instead, it's a series of like mixed origins, I guess, I don't know, of independent acts. It is successive and temporal. It happens one after another, but not spatial. Okay. Kind of hard for me to understand, dude, but sure. There are no nouns in Tlön's conjectural Uqbar, from which the present languages and the dialects are derived. What's this? Is this a real word, or did you mix it? Did you make it up? A parent language. Okay. Conjectural. Conjecture, based on involving conjecture, an opinion or conclusion. Okay. So there's supposed parent language from which the present language and dialects are derived from. There are impersonal verbs modified by monosyllabic suffixes or prefixes with an adverbial value. This is some like language shit I don't understand. For example, there is no word corresponding to the word moon, but there is a verb in which in English would be to moon or to moonate. Okay, so these people are like fucking hilarious. They made a fucking language with no verb, no noun. So like when you talk about like an object, you have to talk about it's objecting. I'm fucking what's that meme? The fucking I'm Morbiusing. I'm Morbius all over the room, everywhere, all over your face. There you go. It's that. It's literally that. The moon rose above the river is blå yu fang asasasas mlo, or literally upward behind the on-streaming it mooned. Upward behind. Oh, I guess it kind of makes sense. Like, behind the on-streaming. On-streaming would be the river, right? So behind it. Obviously, when you look at a moon that like rose above the river, the moon is gonna be behind the river, from your perspective at least. And then like upward it rose, so it mooned. Okay, there we go. The preceding applies to the languages of the southern hemisphere. What? So their planet, the language is like split in half. One on the north, one on the south. Okay. in those of the northern hemisphere on whose Earth spot-sheet there is very little data on, the prime unit is not the verb, but the monosyllabic adjective. The noun is formed by an accumulation of adjectives. They do not say moon, but rather round, airy lights on dark, or pale orange of the sky, which I guess that's a sun, on any other such combination. Okay. But why though? Why did they make a fucking language like this? What is, I mean, there's no fucking reason I'm asking like why. I mean, like languages form naturally. It's just sometimes like retarded features just sort of get added in and they never patch it out. Like fucking like why is a word like kernel in English spelled the way it is? Like, think about that. You know, those are the type of retarded shit we're talking about. In the example selected, the mass of adjectives refer to a real object, but this is purely fortuitous, which means it happened by accident. The literature of this hemisphere, like Maynong's subsistence world, I don't know what that is, abounds in ideal objects. Okay. Well, okay, first of all, we need to talk about this hemisphere, because which is it the south or is it the north? I think it's the north, because they were talking about the north. Well, what about this? Let's search this up. Maybe we get something. The collection. We got this. Oh, this is a real thing. This is not something he made up. What does that mean? In simple language, this guy Menong's theory of objects. Have you read this? Pegasus. Okay, this is like some philosophy stuff, which I don't think I can understand because I'm too stupid. Abounds in ideal objects, which are convoked and dissolved in a moment. What does this mean? Called together or summoned. Okay. Okay. So, I think what this means is that, like, so in the north, right? Refers to, but this is purely in the north. Okay, well, at least the book right here, right? The literature of this hemisphere abounds in ideal objects. So I guess abounds is the same like about. So the literature talking about the North Hemisphere, talking about ideal objects, which I don't know, which are convoked and dissolved in a moment, which are only talked about and then like immediately like it disappears. I guess, I don't know. According to the poetic needs, at times they are determined by mere simultaneity. Whatever. They are determined by mere simultaneity. So like they. Well, I need to know what does determine mean first. I know what determine means, like decide essentially, right? But like deciding for what? Deciding what objects they are like convoking and like talking about, I guess. By mere simultaneity. So sometimes they just choose one by chance. I don't know. There are objects composed of two terms, one of visual and another of auditory character. Well, aren't there also like touch, smell, taste, whatever? What the fuck? They just like don't care about those. The color of the rising sun and the faraway cry of a bird. There are objects of many terms. The sun and the water on a swimmer's chest. The vague, tremulous rose color we see with our eyes closed. What does tremulous mean? Shaking, quivering, okay. So like tremoring, I guess. I guess I should have like guessed it. It sounds like tremor, so like why not? Okay, sure. I wouldn't say that's like a rose color when I close my eyes. I think it's more just dark, just pitch black. I guess sometimes you get a kind of rose color if you get some like lights shining through it, but like mostly though it's still like just darkness. The sensation of being carried along by a river and also by sleep. These second-degree objects can be combined with others. What are you talking about, second-degree objects? What do you mean? What are the second-degree objects? Like this, the sensation, and this, the sun on the okay. Like these are the secondary objects. Well, why though? Why are they the? I guess it's because they're composed of many terms, as opposed to these ones. I guess these are the primary objects which are composed of only like visuals and auditory stuff. Okay. Where were we? Yeah, these are the secondary objects. These secondary objects can be combined with others through the use of certain abbreviations. The process is practically infinite. There are famous poems made up of one enormous word. This word forms a poetic object created by the author. Okay, so I guess like, so what would this be like? It's like combining these fucking concepts together into like a massive fuck off word, and then it's like made of like a bunch of fucking adjectives, and then it's pushed onto you. You're supposed to like read it. It's like fucking round, airy, light, chest on sun, sleepy, fuck you. It's like that sentence of like ideas, green ideas sleep furiously or whatever, that like nonsense sentence that people made. The fact that no one believes in the reality of nouns paradoxically causes their numbers to be unending. Why? The language of Tlön's northern hemisphere. Oh yeah, I guessed it correctly. Yeah, it's the northern hemisphere. Contain all the nouns of the Indo-European languages. Oh, I thought they don't have nouns. I thought the entire Tlön don't have nouns. And many others as well. But I guess it says paradoxically, it also made a lot of nouns, so like fucking... So like, I guess like the best way I can understand this is like, because they can like make new words by like combining these like weird ass like fucking adjectives and like whatever the fuck, and then like then by that they accidentally made nouns in the process, and so like now they have nouns. Like a cat would be like a mix of like fuzzy, cute, dumb, silly, etc., etc., and then like there you go, that's a cat. It is no exaggeration to state that the classic culture of Tlön comprises only one discipline, psychology. All others are subordinated to it. I have said that the men of this planet conceive the planet as a series of mental processes which do not develop in space but successively in time. Spinoza, I guess that's another one of their friends. I'm gonna search it up though, because his name is kind of funny. Okay. Some other philosopher, okay. Ascribes. I've heard of describe, but it's ascribe. To refer to a supposed cause, source, or author. To say or think that something is caused by, comes from, or associated with a personal. This poem are usually ascribed to Homer. Oh, okay. So like he's saying, he says Spinoza thinks that whatever they're gonna say is attributed to some person. Ascribes to his inexhaustible divinity. Wait, hold on. Spinoza ascribes to his... Well, how did you use ascribe? Well, Spinoza ascribes to his inexhaustible divinity the attributes of extension and thought. Okay. Alright, let's rearrange these sentences a little bit. Spinoza ascribes to his inexhaustible divinity the attributes of extension and thoughts. So like in here it would be the the inexhaustible divinity are ascribed to the attributes of these. Okay. No one in Tlön would understand the juxtaposition of the first, which is typically only of certain states, and the second. Okay. No one in... So they don't understand the concept of, like, serialization? Is that what you're saying? Well, I thought they understand nothing but it. I thought you said that they understand the universe as a series of, like, mental processes, but only, like, successively in time. How do you, like, only understand things in time and cannot even tell, like, first from second? What the fuck? I think I thought if anything you would understand that. Which is a perfect synonym of the cosmos. In other words, they do not conceive that the spatial persists in time. The perception of a cloud of smoke on the horizon, and then of the burning field, and then of the half-extinguished cigarettes that produce the blaze, is considered an example of association of ideas. Okay. Alright. I think, like, this Borges guy is, like, trying really hard to, like, put it into my head what he's, like, trying to say, but I'm still not fully understanding it. Okay, well, let's see, how much have we read already? 3 pages? Let's do 4 pages like last time. Okay, well, what the fuck is this part, like, talking about, though? Okay. Which is a perfect synonym of the cosmos. No one in Tlön will understand the juxtaposition of the first and the second, which... in other words, they do not conceive that... Okay. Okay, so, like, I think he's saying that they don't understand the concept of cause and effect, I guess, because, like, right here, the example he gave is an example of cause and effect. A half-extinguished cigarette makes a fire, and then it creates a cloud of smoke on the horizon, which then people see. But I guess, like, they cannot, like, I guess they're saying that people in Tlön cannot understand that. It is considered just an example of association of ideas. Not exactly like cause and effect, it's more like they just sort of happen. I guess, I don't know, I really don't know. This monism, or complete idealism, invalidates all science. I guess, yeah, actually I kind of... Yeah, because if like the basic concept, the very basic concept of, like, cause and effect cannot exist, then, like, fuck science, I guess. Like, you can't prove that one thing leads to another if that very idea straight up cannot exist. Huh. You can't say 1 + 1 = 2, because if you put 2 together, it becomes a 2. If we explain or judge a fact, we connect it with another. Such linking in Tlön is a later state of the subject which cannot affect or illuminate the previous state. Ah, okay. In Tlön is a later... Yeah, okay. So if we... if we explain a judge a fact, so I guess this is here. It says, okay, if we try to give an, like, cause to something, like, let's say... let's use the classic example, right? An apple fell on Isaac Newton's head. If we say that the apple fell because of something, because of gravity, then we connected the ideas. The idea of, like, gravity with the apple. And then in this, and if we do this in Tlön, then is a later state of the subject. We're talking about something else entirely now, at this point, for them at least, which cannot affect or illuminate the previous state, which the apple fell on his head because of gravity, is something else entirely different, entirely disconnected from, like, what just happened with the apple falling on Isaac Newton's head. Okay. Very, very difficult concept to grasp, but I am trying my best over here. Every mental state is irreducible. Okay. I know, I like some of these words I like mostly understand, but it's just, I don't understand it in the context, right? Irreducible, you cannot reduce it, obviously. But like, what do you mean, like every mental state? Cannot be simplified, okay. The mere fact of naming it, what's it, i.e. classifying it, implies, well, I guess mental state, they were talking about mental state, implies a falsification. Sure. I don't know why. Why would that be like falsifying your mental state? I guess it's because it cannot be reduced. It's like something that's like fucking incomprehensible and cannot be explained through like mere words. So like any form of like trying to like explain it is like falsifying it. I guess that's what he's saying. From which it can be deduced that there are no sciences on Tlön, not even reasoning. Yeah, these people are fucking retarded. They straight up, there's straight up no reasoning because they operate entirely in another fucking form of like, I don't know, fucking seeing the world, I guess. The paradoxical truth is that they do exist, I guess, in an almost uncountable number. What's they though? What's they? Tlön? The universe of Tlön? There's more than one of them? I didn't know. They made Tlön 2 Electric Boogaloo. The same thing happens with philosophies as happens with nouns in the Northern Hemisphere. The fact that every philosophy is by definition a dialectical game, a philosophy that's what the fuck is this? What is this? A philosophy des alles ob. The philosophy of as if, a system of what the fuck is this shit? Some stupid bullshit, okay. Has caused them to multiply. The fact that the same thing happens with philosophies as happens with nouns in that not what happened with nouns? Nouns technically don't exist, but I guess they made them back. It has returned because like they use adjective to like describe shit, and they use it so much that they basically made nouns again. So I guess what he's saying is that although Tlön does not have like reasoning at all or any forms of science, they use another forms of like thinking entirely. I guess. But because they use that other like the other form of like just thinking things just happens essentially, they made philosophies again. I guess. I don't know. Has caused them to multiply. I think maybe I need to know this to like understand like the philosophy des alles ob, to understand like what he's talking about. But like I'm not fucking reading another book just to understand this book. This is fucking bullshit. The fact that every philosophy, there is an abundance of incredible systems of pleasing design or sensational types. The metaphysicians of Tlön do not seek for the truth or even verisimilitude, the appearance of being true. Okay. There is an abundance of incredible systems of pleasing design or sensation types. So I guess like there are like a lot of like cool philosophical concepts in Tlön, but the people who came up with it don't even bother to like try to say, oh, this explains the universe, but rather for the astounding. But just because they're cool, essentially. I like that quite a lot. We did not like came up with like philosophy or whatever to like try to explain like why are we here, you know, the deep shit, the origin of the universe, whatever the fuck. We came up with it just because it's cool. Fuck you. It's not even used to explain shit. they judge that metaphysics is a branch of fantastic literature. I mean, hey, you ask some people that in real world, not just Tlön, they'll tell you the same. They know that a system is nothing more than the subordination of all aspects of the universe to any one such aspect. What does that mean? They know that a system is nothing more than the support. Okay, so a system is the underlying of all aspects of the universe to any one such aspect. I don't know. I might need to look it up. When we looked up like quotes from The Great Gatsby, we got explanations. Maybe we'll get explanations from here as well. I'm just going to like quote the same thing over here. I don't want to like read all this shit. Okay, I don't. Okay, never mind. I guess we'll never know. Even the phrase "all aspects" is rejectable, for it supposes the impossible addition of the present and of all past moments. Okay. So what they talking about here? What you talking about here? So they know that making up a philosophy is nothing more than the I don't understand. I don't get it. What the fuck is Blood talking about? That system. Nothing more than even the phrase "all aspects" is rejectable, for it's supposed. But okay, but this is just like the same quote. I mean, you didn't explain anything. This is just a book again. Neither is it licit to use. Okay, I know the word illicit. It means like illegal, essentially. So neither is it legal. So I guess like valid to use the plural past moments, since it supposes another impossible operation. What is Tim talking about here? Even the phrase "all aspect" is rejectable. Okay, so they know that system is under all aspects of the universe to any one such aspect. Okay, so I guess it's talking about they know that like coming up with like a philosophy system, like a philosophy idea, is like just undermining. It's just like a small part. You're trying to explain the entirety of the universe, all aspects of the universe, under like a small, like the very small lens of like philosophy. And even the phrase "all aspect," because it's supposed the impossible addition of the present and of all past moments. And I guess like right here it says that even saying that all aspects doesn't really make sense to them, because it's like trying to add all the moments of the past and present. Okay, wait, all right, I give up. I'm just gonna skip this one. One of the schools of Tlön goes so far as to negate time. It reasons that the present is indefinite, that the future has no reality other than as a present hope, that the past has no reality other than as a present memory. And then right here we got like a reference. Rousseau, the analysis of mind, supposes that the planet has been created a few minutes ago, furnished with humanity that remembers it. Oh, okay. Okay, well, this is actually an idea that like I kind of know, right? It's called like last Thursdayism, or like whatever the fuck. It's like a theory that the entire universe gets like reset and remade every week. Essentially, we just get implanted with fake memories of the past. Well, I mean, like I understand that idea, but like you're kind of taking it too far, dude. Like that idea is just says that the universe resets every week. but it's not saying that the present is straight up just stretch out into the future, and then like the past has no, it's just has no reality, like that, like for like, I'm just gonna search it up real quick. Hold on, what's it called? Last Thursdayism? Yeah, or it's called this name. I don't know. That so like, but like for that idea, they still have like a very clear like past, present, future. So like, I don't know. Another school declares that all time has already transpired, and that our life is only the crepuscular of resembling or relating to twilight. Okay. Describes an animal that... Okay, sure. Whatever. It's only the crepuscular and no doubt falsified and mutilated memory or reflection of an irrecoverable process. Okay, last time I thought I knew irrecoverable. Okay, it just means what I thought it means. It is like just not recoverable process. So like, okay. So like basically the other one says that we're just remembering shit, I guess. First one I straight up don't even know what they believe in. Alright. Another, that the history of the universe, and in it our lives and the most tenuous details of our lives, is the scripture produced by a subordinate god in order to communicate with a demon. Alright, this is more like just some fanfic stuff, which to be honest, I kind of, for what it's worth, I kind of like understand this more. But between the other two bullshit, right? This bullshit, at least I can understand what it's even trying to say. Just kind of like a silly idea. Another, that the universe is comparable to those cryptographs in which not all the symbols are valid, and that only what happens every 300 nights is true. Why? I mean, I guess there is no why. Like, they straight up don't even believe in the idea of why. You don't need reasons for this shit. It's just all vibes, people. It's just vibes. Another, that while we sleep here, we are awake elsewhere, and that in this way every man is two men. Okay, so I think this part doesn't even relate to like time at this point. Amongst the doctrines of Tlön, none has merited the scandalous reception accorded to materialism. Some thinkers have formulated it with less clarity than fervor, as one might put forth a paradox. Okay. None has merited the scandalous record accorded. Okay, so, alright, so in Tlön, the most like scandalous, the most like controversial philosophical idea is materialism. Now I know what materialism means. It just means like the only things that exist are like real things, essentially. And that, you know, there's nothing more than just like meat and bones and shit for humans, and everything, I guess. Some thinkers have formulated it as with less clarity than fervor, intense. Some people have made this idea with less clarity than just like passionate thoughts, as one might put forth a paradox. Okay, sure. Alright, I guess that's it so far. I think last time we read like a couple pages, I think we read to like, yeah, number 4, which is number 6, and then now we went from 7 to 10. Yeah. So, I'm not gonna lie, things are becoming really, really weird since this part. Like before, at least I can still somewhat follow through with like mostly what was going on, right? It's a story about, you know, some guys, they like doing like a internet mystery video. They found like this book, and now they're talking about this book, and holy shit, is it fucking just insane. It's just complete complete this gobbledygook. I am really trying to understand, what's going on. And I think I'm not saying the idea is bad, right? Like the concept, the general concept of this Tlön world is essentially everything's just on vibes. There's not even like the basic concept of like why things happen to them. It's just vibes, dude. It's just all vibes. But sure, I guess that's the concept of Tlön. It's just about like what is like what like feels coolest to them. I don't know. I might be wrong. You guys tell me in the comments. But who am I kidding? No one fucking watches these videos.